Hey everybody, this is Kathy with Premier Marketing, your life marketer here. On the phone with me today, I have Joshua with Cincinnati Life. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great, thank you. We've got a hot topic for agents out there. We get calls all the time asking if we do group, and we don't do group here, but you guys have a fantastic opportunity for agents who are looking for something a little bit different or in that group area. I'm just going to let you talk about your work site details for us, okay?
Per- Perfect. Well, first, thanks very much. I appreciate the time to be able to go through some of this today, kind of on a higher level overview of what our worksite marketing program really is. As you can kind of see by the agenda here, we'll talk about what it is, kind of the features, benefits, the underwriting or non-underwriting of it, and kind of how it all flows just in a program of itself. First off, as we just talked, it's not exactly group life insurance. It is not group term or anything like that. Really, what these are individually owned policies. So every employee owns their own. They get their own policy. It's not a group certificate or anything like that. They own it. They have control. They can handle all the billing, anything like that. It is really their own policy. We're just selling them in a group setting. And that's because to get guaranteed issue or simplified issue, we have to do it inside of a group setting. So again, your pricing is not going to be the same as the 7 cents group term, and we'll talk about that. It is priced like individual products because they are. We're just able to do it inside of a group setting, and we'll kind of talk about the strengths and differences and everything like that as we go through. So first, kind of the difference between worksite insurance and actual traditional full underwriting. Worksite is going to be guarantee issue, no medical questions, no APS, no exams, no anything. The day they sign the piece of paper for their application is the day they start having insurance. Um, we also do have simplified component in there for anybody that wants to go kind of above and beyond the guarantee issue amounts that we'll talk about later. Um, there are no knockouts. It's a 5-year look back. 96% of people get through the simplified issue part. If you are life insurance savvy, we will basically take everything up to a table 6 inside of this program. That's kind of where those questions fall. Table 8's where we decline. So you pretty much just, as long as you're not a declinable risk, you can still get through the simplified issue stuff and there's no rate difference. It's all the same. Versus full underwriting where we're doing a full medical history, we're doing exams, we're doing blood tests, we're doing urine tests. There's time, there's things like that that happen inside of there. So that's kind of the difference between just worksite and traditional at its core. Eligibility, it's going to be, and again, this presentation is more designed for the group itself when you do it. So I like to show this one just so you guys see kind of what's out there and what's available. But the employee, right? As long as they work 20 hours or more, they're eligible for this. We do also write spouses on a guaranteed issue basis. Kind of an odd thing, but it's something that we like to offer. Dependent children will guarantee issue through this program as long as they're under 26, they're unmarried, and they're full-time students and non-military. Grandchildren, 18 and younger, will be able to work. They will be done on a simplified issue basis. We can also do spouses SI and the employees SI. Again, we'll kind of talk about that as it goes through. Kind of some additional features. You can purchase on a spouse or kids and don't have to purchase, the employee themselves don't have to purchase anything if they don't want to. There's some benefits to purchasing, but that can happen. You can also buy up to $50,000 in coverage for a spouse without the spouse's signature. So you don't have to bring them home or talk to them. You can just sign right up for them, and that's perfectly fine. And we can still get other family members coverage, on a fully underwritten basis or whatever we need to do kind of inside or outside the program. The products that kind of sit on this chassis, we do a 10-year term, we do a 20-year term, we have our 20-year ROP, return of premium term, and then we do have a whole life pay to 100, which is our normal one, and we have our paid up at age 65. Few riders that we can throw in here. Accelerated benefits, always on pretty much all of our policies. We always add it because it's no cost. A very, very popular one we write is the children's term rider because it is one way to get guaranteed issue on children. It's $1 a week. Doesn't matter how many kids you have, 1 kid, 2 kids, 17 kids. That $1 a week covers all of them. It's a $10,000 face amount, and we are able to convert that at age 25. You can go up to 5 times, so we can get you up to a $50,000 conversion there if they want to do it. Waiver of premium, again, one that we like to add if your clients don't have disability insurance. Great thing to have here. Basically, after 4 months of total disability, Cincinnati Life picks up the premiums for it, and it's ready to go there. And we do have accidental death. Again, we don't, just the same as our regular programs. We don't see it a lot anymore just because it is quite expensive. And more often than not, people just buy the full out death benefit amount that they want rather than ride with that accident death. But we do have it. So let's talk a little bit about the guarantee issue, right? This is kind of what everybody wants to have. It's really the selling point of the program. What do we need to do here? If you're 18 to 50 as the employee, you're going to have $100,000 of guaranteed issue amounts. You can combine them with term, with permanent, with any of the products, however you want to see fit. Again, there's a lot of customization you can do inside of this program if you want, but that's their 51 to 60, and that's actual age. $75,000, 61 to 70, $25,000. So if they've got an employer there that's over age 70, sorry, we can't do anything inside this program for them. But we may be able to get an individual policy for them that can actually still be billed through the workplace if they want to. We got more questions. We can do some more on that in a little bit. If they want more than the guaranteed amount, you can go up to 200,000 with some product limitations. You are going to ask the health questions. But even still, if you need 600,000, maybe you want $1 million, because again, the big important factor of this whole worksite thing is not a lot of people are getting asked there. People are going for the business owners. Most agents want the way that, they're going whale hunting. And we don't have a good way to access these people at work. Benefit producers usually don't get to talk to everybody and see what they actually need. They put in a group certificate and away you go, and they pick 1-time salary, 2-time salary, whatever. Here's a way you get to talk to every single employee that's there. If you think about your clients, from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, when you're working, where are they at? Also at work. So you need to have a way to get into these businesses to be able to talk to those people. And again, we're selling life insurance here. You're able to sell yourself in everything that you do. So if there's other things that you're able to position, now you've got a way to get more clients. Spouses with guarantee issue, if they're 18 to 60, we'll do 15,000. That'll be inside of a whole life policy. And again, that's where no employee participation is required. If the employee does purchase something, we can go up to 25,000 in guarantee amounts and have no issues whatsoever. The only kicker is the spouse needs to be working 20 hours outside the home. That is kind of our one underwriting question. Do you work at least 20 hours outside of the home? That's kind of it to get inside of there. If not, we can still do them, and we can do it as simplify issue. Kids, bunch of different ways to do this. 15 days, 17 years old, they can do a whole life policy. They can also do the children's term rider. If they want to go that route, you can get them your own policy. If they're 18 to 25, we can do a whole life, or we can do, the term up to 25,000. Again, non-married, non-military, full-time there. So a lot of different ways to be able to get coverage for the entire family inside of a workplace on a guaranteed issue basis. This is kind of what we throw out here for next steps. As this program goes, we end up doing individual meetings. We figure out the deductions and how it all works, following up, moving ahead. But that's kind of how the program goes. What I'm going to show is kind of our flyer, and you guys will have access to this. This is the one marketing piece we use to kind of start the conversation. So if you have these business owners, these groups that you work inside, get this piece of paper, drop it off, and have a conversation with them. I love the stats that sit inside of this, and they are from 2023 LIMRA. No, it's a couple of years old, but it still kind of reigns true. 52% of people surveyed had at least one type of life insurance. 21% of those didn't feel it was sufficient. 54% only had individual coverage. 26% only had worksite coverage. Um, Again, most of that stuff, and that's kind of the big difference between what you really need to identify and where this really hits home is you go talk to a business owner and they'll say, "Oh, we've got a life insurance program here." Well, what is it? Because most of the time it's a group term chassis where there's some issues with it, right? The only time that it pays is if they're at work. Now, I usually ask the question, does anybody know what the claim rate on that group term stuff is? And it's actually just below 2%. So for 98% of the people, it's not really going to carry a benefit for them because they will not claim while they're at work. For the 2% that it happens to, fantastic. We love it. We're not trying to replace it. Keep it in there. But that is why that stuff costs pennies. And it's usually thrown in just as a combo or whatever it is. What gets even worse is when they add in a buy-up program. You can buy more than your one-time salary or 25 or 50,000 or whatever it is. But now you're spending your own money as an employee and you're just buying more group term that still has that same next to nothing claim rate on it. So that's an issue. If you do leave work, most of the time these things are not portable. If they are portable, you've got to convert them, and that's going to be 10 to 20 times the amount of what you're paying. It's incredibly expensive. A lot of them have conversion rules where, hey, you can convert it, and then after the first 5 years, the rate's going to go up. Some of them, when you turn age 60 or 65, the death benefit cuts in half, which is absolutely crazy because that's when you need it the most. So there's a lot of things there's a lot of hooks and a lot of what ifs, and you've got to do these things when you start working with that group styled insurance. That's not what this is. Like, this is their very own. They buy it, it's theirs. They leave work, they retire, they get fired. It doesn't matter. The bill just goes to them if they weren't paying it already. They get to keep it 100% portable, zero changes to what happens if you leave. That is really the big thing about what makes this worksite and the voluntary stuff quite a bit different. Again, on this sheet, we kind of talk about the products, eligibility. We can do list bill, we can do payroll deduction, we can do EFT, a lot of different ways with it. We have the guarantee issue rules and what they can get, the simplified issue rules, what our products are, what our riders, again, all on one page. So you're able to drop this off, have a conversation, see if they're interested. From then, us and our team, we can help you work through it and work through the steps of how it has to go, because there are multiple steps to this thing, right? You're going to have to do, we're going to have to do a group meeting to explain what it is. We've got handouts that can go to everybody. You do the one-on-one meetings. Again, it's fully voluntary, so they can waive if they don't want it, but they have to sign a waiver form saying we're saying no to guarantee issue insurance, and there's stories in there of what's happened and people that have waived and have actually passed away a day later, 2 days later. I also have stories of people that have signed up and have passed away a day or 2 days later, and because they have coverage from the date of signature, they're covered. We're able to get that benefit to the employee. So really just a really neat concept, a good marketing. It is a niche. There's different things we can do to help with enrolling and things like that. But if you're looking for ways, again, I kind of use it. If you work in groups, we want group sizes of 15 or more. So 15 eligible employees, that just means 15 people there that work 20 hours or more a week. That is a group for us. That is something we want to look at. We would love to have a conversation about, because that's when we fit. If we've got less than 15, we're not able to do the guarantee issue, so it kind of loses a lot of its appeal and sits inside of there. But even with that 15, we don't have any participation rate requirements. So if only 4 people take it out of the 15, it's fine. It's not the same as some of the other carriers out there that say, hey, you got to have at least 25 or 50% participation to get such and such death benefit. And if you get more participation, you can get more. That's not how we do it. We're going to lay it out from the get-go. As long as there's 15 people there that you get to talk to, you have the guarantee issue amount of 100,000 if you're 51 to 60 or whatever, or 18 to 51, 75,000, 51 to 60. 25,000, 61 to 70. We're not going to mess around and work about, hey, if more and more people sign up, we'll give you more and more. We don't want that. We want you knowing from day one what you're able to offer and what we can do inside of there. So again, this is a little bit different. You are selling individual insurance. It is not done on a portal or even really an electronic platform to that extent. You are meeting one-on-one, doing enrollments. That's how we want to have it done. That's how we can see, hey, if you're at work, you're healthy enough to get guarantee issue life insurance. It's kind of our mindset behind it. A fantastic way to get in, to get more clients, also to be able to talk to that business owner because they are one of the employees and you have to see everybody. Are they going to have a need for a $100,000 20-year term? Probably not. However, they may need to talk about, has their buy-sell been reviewed? Do they have any key people that they need to do insurance on? Things of that to be able to move it around and go. And also add an incredible benefits package to their company, and it's zero cost to them. There are ways that you can do it where if the company wants to pay portions or whatever, there's a few more strings attached to that. It can be done. But again, we really want to sell this as voluntary, as employee paid. They just have an option. I love it with a company that already has group term. Put this in as the buyout package. Again, it's way better to be spending your money on a product that's yours at all times, that you get to take with it as an employee, that no changes happen, instead of spending your own money to go buy more of that group term stuff. So that's kind of my quick little informational meeting about the Worksite program. Again, if you are interested, there is some more to it, kind of in the process and how it all works. But I'd be more than happy to walk anybody through that's interested and see what we can do there.
I do have a question for you. For grandchildren 18 and under, do they have to be living with the spouse or the employees?
No, they do not.
They do not. Okay, so does their parents have to sign anything for this?
Not usually, because we're under $50,000.
Okay, perfect. Just want to make sure on that. That gets asked us quite a bit if there's a place to be able to do grandparents.
Nope, they do grandparents.
Okay.
And we do sell a lot of those policies where grandparents want to buy on all their grandchildren. Whether it's a $10,000 policy for each of them or however it works, 5,000 for each, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
We do write a lot of grandchildren with it though.
And they're still under the simplified issue platform, correct?
Grandchildren are simplified issue, yes.
Okay. And I just want to ask that we get a lot of calls, kids have diabetes or any health issues like that. Does that still fall into place here, or?
It does now. So that can happen. Usually if that's the case where, hey, grandparents said, where does the parent work? Because now, if it's a grandchild, we're simplified issue. Does either parent work somewhere where they have 15 or more employees? Because now we can go put this in and we can get the kid guaranteed issue rather than simplified going through a grandparent.
Perfect. Okay. Just want to put that out there. Thank you for going over this. I always think your work site is something, like you said, it's a niche market, but I could see this working for a lot of small business owners. A lot of small business owners don't have the cost to pay out for insurance for their employees. So a lot of times they don't offer anything. So this is a good benefit. So if you're working with anybody, especially in the business model, business owners, buy, sell, key man, this is another platform to be able to use. So hopefully when watching this kind of triggers your ideas as far as who to go call on, who to see. If you need any additional help on this, please reach out to my team, 800-365-8208. The team extension is 607. We're here to help you and guide you on this. We can get you in front of Joshua at Cincinnati Life. We can help you in that direction. Otherwise, Josh, what's your phone number so they can reach you if they have to?
Yep. So you can either email me any questions you may have, and that's my email's Josh, JOSH _Peterson, PETERSEN @cinfin, CINFIN.com, or my direct line 319-269-6174.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you, Joshua. Take care.
Okay. Thanks.